Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Hi, yes, welcome if you are rejoining us. Welcome if this is your first time as well. My name is Marissa Price. I am a social worker, healer, business educator. I'm dedicated to creating safe spaces for Black women to discuss life topics like this one and just share our experiences on the internet, which is not always easy to find. But yes, today I have a wonderful guest with me, Mimi of the YouTube channel Childfree with Mimi. So I'll pass it over to her to introduce herself. Yeah.
Hey y'all, this is so surreal. I'm like goofy. Okay, hi, I'm Mimi. And I don't have a lot to say about myself. I have a YouTube channel where I'm sharing my experiences as a child-free woman and hoping to inspire other women to just do the things, live your life. Don't feel like you need to wait around for a spouse or kids to get your life started. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yay. I love it. I love it. And I would love to know like what inspired you to start a YouTube channel? Because I know, we have different stories coming to this platform, a lot of us, but like what was your inspiration behind starting a YouTube channel?
Funny enough, I actually started the YouTube channel when I realized that I wanted to travel long term. And someone actually, her name is Starlet. She has a YouTube channel as well called Sassy Travel Goddess. She was like, Mimi, are you gonna like do vlogs and stuff? I was like, no, it hadn't crossed my mind. But then I thought about it and I was like, maybe I wouldn't do vlogs, but I could definitely share my journey because I realized how helpful it was for me for other people to share theirs. And so I created the channel to share my slow travel content. I don't know if you remember, but my channel was Mimi Slow
Yeah,
Travels.
I do. Yep.
Yes. And then I realized outside of traveling itself, which is something that I'm still going to do, I wanted to talk about more. If you know me, you know I like having random conversations, and girl talk is my thing. So I was like, imagine if I
Yes.
could create a space for us to have girl talk, right? And
I
obviously,
love
you
that.
can't do that all over YouTube with random strangers and stuff. And so we're going to talk about that later. Yeah, we'll talk about
That's true.
that.
That's true. I love that. Yes, girl talk, girl talk. I love that. Yay. We got everyone in the chat. Thank y'all so much for introducing yourself. Yes, please say hi. Hello. If you're in the chat, we'd love to highlight you. Yes, yes. Got Tea Time Beauty. Hello. Yes, Mira.
It's so weird being on the other side. Oh my gosh.
And Maya. Hello, hello. Got Esther. Yes, welcome y'all. Welcome y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. As always, but yes, the educator as well. Hello. Thank y'all so much for supporting. Yeah. Let's go to the next question. Yeah, can you share with us what inspired your plans? Right, we talked about travel a little bit, but to embark on a year of slow travel, which is a different means of traveling, like taking your time from place to place, as opposed to like hopping cities, which can be stressful, as I am experiencing right now. Trying out the digital nomad lifestyle, I'm like, girl, this is a lot sometimes. So I'd love to hear your inspiration behind, yeah, slow travel and what led you to that decision.
Sure. This is not going to be a surprise, so I'm just going to say Exodus Summit, Stephanie Perry,
Yeah.
Rashida Dow, their videos inspired me. And actually last March 2023, I'm pretty sure I had a one-on-one call with Rashida. And at that time, I was like, so I'm getting out of the military in June, and I was like, I'm tired. I just want to take a break. So I was like, I want to
Yeah.
take some time off before I find another job. And so when I talked to Rashida, I was like, yeah, I think I want to do like 6 months off, maybe nine. And then she was like, looking at your numbers, you can do a year. And I was like,
Ooh, I love that.
that's a tough sell. So I didn't see it at first. And so I kind of
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay. But eventually, after checking the cost of living calculators and really like you know us, we have to make sure we're no half steppers. Okay. So we got to make sure the money looks
Yes.
right. And I was like, Mimi,
Mhm.
I get that. That's cool or whatever, but don't let that hold you back from going. If the calculator says you need 1,500 and you're planning for 4,000, great.
Mhm.
Like it's good to have extra, but maybe that means you can't do a couple extra months. And so after that call with Rashida, she planted the seed of let's do this for a year. And I actually ended up going to the hospital in July of 2023. Girl,
Mhm.
that hospital and ambulance bill reached me, and I was like, when
Oh.
I'm out of the military, I can't afford accidents. So then I was like, I need to reevaluate my plan. It's too expensive to live year. And so I was like, you know what?
Yes.
This long-term travel thing don't sound so bad. So that kind of sent me over the edge, I guess.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, yes, the healthcare system in the US. Yeah. Yeah. I'm counting down the days. I'm like, no, no, I'm past this. Yeah, because I'm currently in the US at the moment. But yeah, living in Mexico. So I totally get that. And yeah, thank you for sharing. I did want to ask you, how do you envision this period of slow travel contributing to your personal and professional growth as you are looking to, I know, start a business and launch your ideas and stuff like that? So, how do you see that kind of tying in with slow travel?
So for my personal growth, oh my gosh. And I know I'm kind of naive in this perspective, but I'm just like, I think seeing the world and interacting with different people of different backgrounds is just an enriching experience in and of itself. And I feel like you can't go through that and be unchanged. And so I'm excited about all the experiences that I'll have. I'm excited to make friends, to explore different places, to learn more about myself through the process of travel. And also, when I first decided to take this time off, it was because I really don't know what I want to do as far as a career. Like, I had no idea. And so I'm like, okay, when you're getting out of the military, everybody's like, okay, so what's next? What's next? What's next? And I genuinely had no idea. So I was actually really hoping that this year off of travel would inspire me and I would be like, this is what I want to do next. So I guess that kind of answers a little bit of your
Yeah,
second part, which was what are my professional goals? And so now, though, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if this is working early or not, but I was like, how cool would it be if, because I'm planning to travel long term all over the world, I put on small group trips for women, like 10 people or less, and we're
okay.
hanging out wherever I'm at.
Yes,
Does that not
we will
sound
do that.
amazing? So yes, I have that idea right now. We're gonna see. Oh my gosh, Danny, I'm gonna cry. Okay, all right.
Yes.
So yes, I think that's right now where I'm at. I think that would be really cool, but of course there's the logistics and planning. So we'll see what happens. Oh my gosh, Yvette.
Yeah.
Hey.
I love that. I love that. Yes. Group trips. That sounds amazing. Um,
Yes.
and I know a lot of us, as we're looking to kind of travel abroad, going by yourself can be a lot sometimes. So having like a group with you to explore different places, I think that's amazing.
Yes. And we're keeping it
Celebrate.
small, low key for me, because over 10 is a lot. But also I feel like we can have, more intimate conversations and stuff. So we'll say that's the reason.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And yes, thank y'all in the chat. Hello, y'all. Natural ID. Oh, Pinky Girl travels the world.
Adelia.
Hello, Adelia, who has taught so many of us how to travel.
Really, yes.
So yes, thank you. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and I didn't even mention Adelia. And part of that, when she
Yeah.
was talking about how she left her teaching job in the US, and I believe originally she went to Honduras and realized she could live off of less. That was another major thing for me when she was like, yeah, I was able to make a living doing this because I actually considered teaching English in somewhere like South Korea because of her. So I want to give her
Yeah.
flowers. I just saw that and it reminded me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Adelia's podcast, Pinky Girl Travels the World, was like
Mhm.
instrumental in showing me that I could do it too, that it was possible.
Yeah.
Just listening to like an episode every day to kind of get me through a toxic job, and hearing other Black women's stories was just so inspirational. So yes, all the flowers to Adelia. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. I did want to ask you too about a child-free lifestyle and embracing that, and just tell us about your journey. Anything you'd like to share towards that decision, and then what also influenced this decision that you've made to be child-free.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say for my journey, it started early on because I am the oldest of, it's always funny when I say this. I grew up, my mom had four of us in the house. The dad did what he did. So I grew up
Yeah.
in a house of four kids where I was the oldest taking care of the youngest. And so I always saw the back end of raising children because I think it's easy for us to get caught up in the cute pictures and like Christmases together and all that. But I saw the helping them with their homework and they don't want to listen, but I still got to help them or I'm going to get in trouble, or like my mom being so tired that she couldn't be bothered because she literally worked 12 hours and then had to come home. And it's just because I knew that that's what motherhood could be like, I realized early on, like, I don't know if this is the move, But I will say when I was younger, it's funny because I think I was in high school, maybe like 15 or 16 years old, and I had my daughter's name picked out. I was like, if I have a girl, I'm gonna name her I Love. So
Okay, that's
yeah,
the
like
answer.
so
Just keep
I at
naming
some
names.
point, right. I was like, I knew it was gonna happen because that's just what happens in life. You grow up, you
Yeah.
get married, you get the house, get the kids, all that. And then when did I realize that I didn't have to take that path? I I don't know when I realized exactly. I don't know if it was a specific moment, but I will say that I did see more child-free content on the internet, and it was really validating to see other women like, you know what, I don't know if I want to do this, actually, or straight up saying, no, I don't want to do this for whatever their reasons were. And so at that point, I think seeing other people do it, I was like, okay, this can be a lifestyle thing. And so I forgot the rest of your question.
No, that's great. Yeah, just what influenced it? I think you already answered that. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I did want to ask you about challenges too, because this is kind of a new concept, right? To fully embrace this and be like, no, I've opted out of having children. Just any challenges you face, like in society, pushback from family or friends as you've made this decision to be child free. Anything you'd like to share?
Yes. So with challenges, most of it for me is just people making offhand comments. Like, people ask, when are you gonna have kids? Do you want to have kids? If you say no, it's almost like a trick question. Because then they're like, really? Why? And you say why, and they're like, well, who's gonna take care of you when you're older? Or you're too young, you're gonna change your mind when you grow up. And so it's that invalidation just casually sprinkled in. And also I saw it in the medical space because I actually was considering getting sterilized. I don't know if you ever heard of a bilateral salpingectomy, but they just go in there and take out those fallopian tubes. And for me, I'm not an elective surgery kind of girl, so I was not going to sign up to just have that done. But there was another procedure that I wanted to see if I had endometriosis, and I read that they just can take the fallopian tubes out when they check. And so I was like, that's a 2-for-1 special. I want to do that. And so when I went to get that done, the guy, which he was in the army, military doctors. Anyway, we're not gonna go there. But he didn't want to hear it. And he was like, are you sure you're young? And I get it. Like, okay, I'm 23. I get where you're coming from. But I've made up
Yeah.
my mind. And so, yeah, I mean, the only thing that stopped me from doing that is they told me I had to do it at the army hospital. And I was like, nah, we're not doing any of that. I tried to get referred to a different provider. But yeah, so the pushback in the medical space was kind of unexpected because I just
Mm,
expected them to be kind of, impartial. Like, if that's what you want to do, whatever. But no.
right. And I feel
So,
like
yeah.
our age a lot. You touched on something like they try to convince us that we don't know what's best for our bodies because it's like we're young. You're like, no, I still know
Right.
that's best for my body. Like my
And
age doesn't have any bearing on that. Yeah.
yep. It's really crazy because they don't say we're too young to have kids, but we're too young to say we don't want to have them. And so there's
Oh,
that.
you touched on something. Yes, that is true. That's very true. Yep. Old enough to make that decision, but yeah, not the decision not to have kids. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just gonna read some comments here. Yes, agreed. Those people are idiots. They
Yes,
are.
indeed.
Yes. Mara says people always have something to say when they see women reject patriarchy or any traditional norms.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
part,
They do.
that
They
part.
do.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Piet says man kids are overrated. I have to.
That's a whole other thing, Piet. And I'm so thankful for the women in my life who were honest. Like, they didn't try to be like, oh, motherhood is it's such a blessing. It's the best thing ever. They were like, girl, look, you can do it if you want to, but just make sure
Yeah.
you know what you're getting into. So I respect the parents who can acknowledge that. Like, it is a lot. And so, yeah, that
Right.
means a lot.
Yeah, that's important to have like the real, like share the
Yeah.
real experiences because we see like a fairy tale version of motherhood portrayed all the time, especially in the media. It's like, but if we can get real, like what is this really like? How does this impact your life so that you can make a more informed decision when you are considering whether or not to have kids? I think that's crucial. Yeah.
I have so many thoughts about that, girl.
Yeah, please share. Please, the floor is yours.
I just listen. I Let me get in my down the patriarchy bag real quick and just say, I feel like that's on purpose because they don't tell
Yeah.
us anything, and then we end up stuck with this baby. And then what, right? Like, if the man decides to do what he's gonna do, and say we're stay-at-home moms, then
Mhm.
what? What are we doing? Are we just stuck with him?
Yeah.
Let me just. I just wanted to put that
Mhm.
out there too. I think that's part of why they don't say anything and why there's shame if you do have kids and you say, I'm really not enjoying this, then you look like the bad guy, and it's like, no, it's a lot. It's a
It's
heavy decision. There's a lot of responsibility. It's natural to feel overwhelmed. And so I think that hiding the other aspects of it is intentional. So let me get back. Here we go again.
true. It's true. And I think social media has given us a way to like share authentic experiences that maybe before were withheld from us so that we didn't have the information needed to make the decision. It's like now
Yeah.
people are sharing day to day what it's like to be a mom, right? In the
Hmm.
society that does not support moms, right? And we have to like
Yes.
bring attention to the systems around us
Yeah.
that we're living in that like tell us to have kids, but yet don't provide the supports to be a
Yep.
parent. So yeah, that is so true. That is so true. Esther says, pull up this comment. Yes, being responsible in many ways for my younger siblings at a young age made me realize parenthood is not all that. I respect anyone who is a parent, though. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. You
yeah,
can't help but to respect it, especially when you
yeah.
see all that goes into it. And my heart for single mothers, Lord have mercy. Like, oh God, yes. Props
Hmm.
to the moms, because that's y'all are doing the thing. So
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah, and having grown up with a single mom, like I saw the struggles she went through, and that
Yeah.
has informed like me thinking like, do I want to do this? Right?
Yep.
It's yeah, that's so real. That's so real. Adelia says no one would give a 23-year-old man that kind of pushback. Not at all.
Say it again. Listen, when they
No,
decide, it's like, good on you, man. It's more trouble than
that's
it's
true.
worth. Like, what?
That's true.
It's
That is
that
so
same
true.
thing where like older
Yeah,
women, they'll ask them like why they're not married, but then older men, it's like, good on you, like you're a bachelor, just live
yeah.
your life, enjoy
Celebrate it.
your life. What?
Absolutely. Yeah, that is so true. Ooh, ooh, yes. Scroll down some of the comments. Oh, thank you, Danny. It's the best interviewer one.
Yes,
Oh, thank
it
you.
is. It's so true. It's so
Hearts.
true.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. Alicia, yes, with the baby, no community, no support. Then they shame women. It's awful. That's true. That is
Yeah.
very true. Yep. Yep. And the shame is all on us. It's like we're living in these systems that are impossible to survive, right? And then
Yeah.
we're told that forced a lot of times when we see like the rollback of Roe v. Wade, especially forced to continue. If you want to get into that, because that wasn't one of the questions, but yeah, forced to continue with pregnancies. Yeah, it's
See,
real.
you're trying to have me in my down the patriarchy bag all over again because they know. And this comes at a time when more people are speaking openly about being child free and deciding not to have kids. It's just like, okay, I see
Mhm.
what y'all doing. I see what y'all
Yeah,
are doing. I don't know. Y'all can call it what you want to, but we see.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's all a part of a larger ploy, right? And we see a lot of things being rolled back,
Yeah,
um, like decades, centuries, sometimes in the modern day that we're living in. It's like it's scary.
it
It's
is.
scary to see these things happening and feel like you don't have agency, but you always have agency, like you said, and embracing a child-free lifestyle. That's reclaiming your agency. Like you're not going to
Yes.
strip this power away from me, even though you're trying at every turn. No. Yeah.
Yes, and I think crazy enough, I'm sorry, it's gonna make it a little like sad and down the mood, but the
No.
reason that I decided to consider sterilization for me, and girl, I guess I'm about to tell my business. I have
Yeah,
never been
please.
sexually active, right? So I don't even have that concern right now, but I was like, the chances of being assaulted, how often that happens, and the
Yeah.
idea that if that were to happen, I might not have the choice. I might be stuck with this child has forced me to literally tell myself, I don't even have that as a concern at this moment, but I was like, maybe you should go and get that done to protect yourself. And it's like, I
Mm,
understand wanting to get it done, but I think the reason behind it is I was, and how do you explain that to somebody? Like when I told my friend after she asked why, she was like, girl, you're too negative. Like, why would you think that? Why would you expect that? And I'm like, life experiences is why
hmm
I expect that and why I think that. So that's a whole
hmm
other thing.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And that's unfortunately real.
Yeah.
Like that is a real concern. Um, and yeah, yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about that. It's just, but thank you. I truly appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Yeah, it's real. It's very real. It's
Yeah.
very real. And I know a lot of people can relate to what you just shared. So thank you. Yeah. If yes says Mimi, please, please go down the patriarchy path. We're here. We are. We are. Yes. Yes. Well, sunshine. Hello. Welcome. Welcome.
Hey.
Yes. But I did want to ask you how being child free has impacted your ability to pursue your dreams of travel, like how those things tie in with each other.
Oh, girl, they go so well together. Cause it's one thing, listen, uprooting your life and making these major changes is hard enough. I think if I had to factor in another person, I might not have even gone this route. Maybe the plan would have looked differently for me because there are other considerations to make. So I think it has given me the absolute freedom to just go for it. Yeah.
I love that. Freedom to go for it. Yes. And we see people like traveling with their children too. So it's like that's a possibility too.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like, especially Black women on YouTube sharing their journeys of traveling with children has made that seem doable when before it
Yeah,
may have seemed like off limits. It's like, no, you can still
absolutely.
do it. You can still do it. You can still make a way. But yeah, I hear you on that. The freedom to go where you want, right? Any country that you want to. And we know the privileges that come with having a US passport, right?
Yes.
Something to emphasize that Adelia emphasizes often. The ability to roam freely. I feel
Yes.
like, yeah, and being child free kind of plays into that perfectly.
Mhm. I think, and that's one of the major things that comes up when I think about traveling with children versus without, is there's less logistics involved. Like, I don't have to think about how my kids are going to adjust or like what schools they're going to go to. And also another thing, I can't
Yeah.
remember who did it, but they mentioned world schooling your kids. I love that
Yeah,
idea.
I do
I love
too.
that.
Yeah, I love that, especially like growing up in the US education system, which was trash and
Trash.
traumatizing at every turn. It's like having the ability to learn while you're traveling and interacting with different people around the world. I can't imagine like the level of intelligence that you would be able to
Yes.
gain as a child, being able to absorb all those new experiences and things like that. Yeah.
Yes. Compassion, empathy. Oh my gosh.
Shit.
Yes.
Yes. That is so true. Yeah. Yeah. We know that's like sorely lacking in the US. So being outside the borders, it's like, oh my gosh, there is compassion. It does exist because it can feel very like limiting, right?
Yeah.
Being here, just like interacting with people on a day to day basis, can be a lot. So yes, I agree. Okay, I do want to ask you about making the decision to leave a stable job, and what factors you're considering as you're preparing to take this leap of faith into slow travel, into starting your business, possibly group travel trips, as you mentioned. But yeah, just any factors you're considering around that in leaving like a stable job for more of a life of freedom and free will.
So for me, I think the choice was a little bit easier because with contracts in the military, you're either getting out or you're staying for another 4 years. So because I knew I didn't want to stay another 4 years, I was definitely getting out. And I have to say there was some back and forth, right? Of because that's another thing. I think they try to scare you out of going back to the real world because they're like, well, the military pays for your health insurance and they cover this, this, and this. And it's like, yeah, that's great. But the implication is that how are you going to do it on your own? And it's like, millions of people do it every day. So anyway, yeah. So the decision to leave was easier because I knew I couldn't stay here in this current role that I'm in. I will say there is still some fear, and I talked about that on my channel. Is like I think money might always be a bit of a concern for me, even knowing that I have money saved, because you're going to be using it. And so the money is going to be depleting either way. So for me, one of the considerations that I'm making now is brainstorming different ways that I can make money to support this lifestyle while I'm traveling. So, like I said, my fallback plan, shout out to Adelia, is I'm considering teaching English in South Korea. Like, if my funds are running low and I don't want to go back to the US or come back to the US, they have a program where they provide housing and like income that's enough to support yourself. Another
Mhm.
thing is like teaching English online. Of course, a lot less money there, but you know, if my cost of living is lower, I could see that being a possibility. And then also, Sandra from Lack to Legacy, she has these Zoom study sessions where you learn all about investing and trading. And there's someone there, Kinesia, also known as the Trading Niji here on YouTube. She is teaching a trading style called credit spread. So I'm actually starting her class. That actually it started
Cool.
tonight at 8. So I had to miss the first one, but she's gonna fill me in on that. So trading, making money through my investments. So the financial considerations I think are the biggest thing for me, because outside of that, you know, they say money can't buy happiness, but I do feel like it does alleviate or solve quite a few problems. I will
Yeah.
say another consideration that I have, sorry, is about my emotional and mental well-being while I'm traveling, because I
Yes.
have never been out just on my own, away from everyone, away from family and friends, and in foreign countries where the language might be different, and you know, there's a learning curve just in general. But so I'm like mentally preparing myself. I know it's not going to be all roses. There's going to be some growing pains. And so another thing for me is learning languages. Right now, I'm learning Spanish because I do want to be able to understand what's going on around me and talk to people about, you know, what I need, and even like to make friends. You know, you want to be able to have those connections.
That's
So I
true.
think those are, yeah, my biggest considerations right now.
I love that. And yeah, I agree on the language. Like, I was learning Spanish before I moved to Mexico because that's so important. Being able to speak with people, at least you have like a few words. You don't have to be fluent, but a few key phrases so that you're able to communicate and develop those relationships with people who live
Yeah.
there. I think that's crucial. Yeah, I love that. That. And Adelia says, but this is why you save the money.
Listen, Adelia is sounding like Rashida right now. Because Rashida was on that call like, what are you doing? What are you doing here?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true. And that's so important. I don't know what the mental block is. Like, we save the money for these occasions, and then we don't want to use the money we saved for these occasions. Make it make
yeah.
sense.
It's hard. It's hard, and especially coming from the U.S., there's like all this pressure, all this like fear. I'll say it's a very fear-based society. So
Yeah.
transitioning out of that mindset is huge, and that goes into mental and emotional wellness that you mentioned. When you travel abroad, it can be taxing on your mental health. And I feel like
Yeah.
more of us are just starting to talk about that. I did a workshop with Angela Kanu, but this is a topic we're going to be exploring more about because it's real and it will hit you, especially when you have time and space to kind of reflect on what you've experienced being in the
Yeah.
US. Some of those things can become flooding like right back. And if you don't
Yeah.
have a plan on how to deal with that, cope with that, a support system, that can be a lot. So,
Yeah.
yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I want to read this comment from Fiat. Yes, the refusal of the tying of your tubes is deplorable. Agreed. And you're right, being a single parent has to be the hardest job. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah. The fact that they won't allow you to make a decision about your own body, right?
Yeah.
Why is a
Ooh.
doctor superseding your authority over your own body? I
Yeah.
don't know you. I don't know
Right.
you.
Yep. You know what's best for my body and my life. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, when it
No.
comes to things like if I'm in pain, then you probably have some expertise. I'll give you that. But if I'm
Mhm.
making an elective decision that, well, come on now. But I did want to mention, because in case there are other
Yeah.
child-free women here, there's a thing on Reddit. It's called the Child-Free Friendly Doctors List, and oh my God, they have child-free friendly doctors from all over the world, not just in the US. Like I saw different countries, and I will look for the link and send it if you want to post it.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the reason I wanted them to do it. I wanted to make sure I was going to a child-free friendly doctor, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Nah, you can't." So, but yes, if that's something you're considering, I would honestly urge you to go to someone that will be supportive in that decision, because I don't know, I feel like it can be traumatizing isn't the word necessarily, but it can be a lot when you're telling someone what you want, what would work best for you in your circumstances, and they're just telling you absolutely not. And you're a grown woman. Like it's
Absolutely.
so yeah. I'm gonna
Mhm.
actually mute real quick and Google it.
Yeah. And they're also not taking into account like the maternal mortality rate that we see Black women experiencing in the US. Like, and then you're gonna tell me I can't make this decision to preserve my own life, possibly? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. I'll read some of these comments here. Alicia says having money does make you happier. It does. It does. Yes. Yes. Lola Sunshine says, woohoo, yes, teaching. I taught in China. Oh, yay. Go for it. I love that. I love that. Okay. Oh, yes, I do see the link. I'll post that. Let's see here. Okay. That is the Reddit thread, the child free doctors list.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Going back to the questions, I wanted to ask you, we talked a little bit about it, but Exodus Summit, the role that Exodus Summit has played in you taking this leap, having the information and resources to be able to go confidently in this direction. Anything you'd like to share about that?
Oh my gosh. Exodus Summit, I have to say, has been the biggest factor in me seeing this as a possibility. And of course, there's the summit itself. There's Stephanie Perry's channel. There's Rashida Dow's channel. But there's also, I don't know if you remember, they did, was it 12 days of sabbaticals? Like they were always sharing other Black women's stories of how they were able to make it work, traveling or living internationally. And for me, it was just, it's one of those things where if you have enough stories lined up, then you can be like, okay, maybe this is real, right? Whereas for me, if it's just one person, I'm like, maybe they got lucky. But no, they got rid of all the excuses by showing and interviewing the women, letting the women tell their stories and what it was like. And I just, for a lot of it, I resonated a lot with their experiences as well, with regards to just not feeling satisfied or content here, but kind of like not knowing like what else do you do, right? If you're here, you gotta be in the system. And so yeah, Exodus Summit has been crucial for me. And they share so many resources and practical tips and steps in addition to the testimonies from other women. So yeah, I highly recommend check them out if you're considering. I mean, I think
Yes.
most of us here are probably very much familiar with Exodus Summit, but yeah, they changed the game for me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, coming across that, I'm like, wow, it is possible because I've always had these dreams of traveling, but like you said, it never felt like realistic,
Yeah.
right? And especially when you're the only one who kind of has these ideas and thoughts, you're like, okay, I might be losing my mind a little bit because everyone around me is like content and I'm not. Like I could never like access that level of contentment. So yes, that is so
Yes,
true.
or they're also not content, but they're like, "This is just what it is."
That's true. That's true.
Which is
Yeah,
crazy, but
that's
which I
very
get
true.
it, I get it, like, if you don't see that more is possible, you just expect that, but when you see that more is possible, honey, the
Hmm.
possibilities. Yes.
Yes. Possibilities. Yes. Exodus Summit changed my life. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Mine too. Mine too.
Yep,
Yep.
same here.
Yep. Yeah. And it was the 12 days of sabbaticals. I remember watching
Mhm.
that playlist. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can take a sabbatical too. And then
Yep.
I wound up joining Rashida Dow's group coaching program from Burnout to Bliss. And was able to plan my sabbatical from a toxic job using FMLA leave.
Mhm.
So I was able to take 11 weeks off and travel outside the US for the first time. And that was life changing because I'm like, everything around me is not normal. It's not me.
Yeah.
I finally had that confirmation. Um, so I think that's pivotal in just being able to take time off work. That's kind of revolutionary, especially for Black women. So yeah,
Yep.
I love it. Lola Sunshine says yes. Exit Summit for the win.
Woohoo!
Yes. And I'll put the link in the chat to join the Exit Summit community on Facebook as well. But I did want to talk about your Facebook group that you just created. Anything you want to share about that?
Yes, I actually created it. When you sent me the email, like, hey, do you have any links that you want me to share? I was like, now I do. So, okay. The Facebook community, what I want it to be is, like I said, a space for us to have girl talk, to share our thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, wins, losses, failures, successes, all of it. And I want it to feel safer and more isolated from the internet at large, because I understand that when you're on a public forum like YouTube, people are going to stop by and drop their little opinions, and sometimes you don't want to hear that. Or if you do want opinions, you want to hear it from people who are on the same level that you are. Like, you don't want some man telling you why you as a woman should not be child free. Like, it don't make sense. And so
You
I
really
just feel
don't.
like,
No.
right. And I realized from my own experience that there is so much power in girl talk. As a matter of fact, I want to shout out Dr. Joy Harden Bradford's book, Sisterhood Heals. It is amazing. And she talks about it, but it really does. And one thing she mentions is other Black women serving as possibility models. And it's true. For me, that's been a lot of what's led me here. Like we were talking about with Exodus Summit, possibility models, other women showing you what's possible. And so I want to create a smaller community of that for women, whether you're child free for life, whether you might want to have kids in the future, whether you're an empty nester. I want us to share our ideas and thoughts in a loving environment. And while I'm here sharing about this, let me just tell you, if you don't know how to respect people, don't join the group, because I promise I will have to kick you out, and I don't want to do that. So I really do want this to be an actual safe space. And I mean that even me, holding me accountable. If I say something crazy, I'm gonna kick myself out. Like, we're not doing that here. We got too much of
Have
that.
your own group. Yeah.
So yes, I want it to be a safe space for girl talk. That's essentially what it is. It's of course free, open to women. It's just us girls.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Yeah. So please join Mimi's Facebook group, linked here. It's also linked in the description as well. But yes, that's amazing. A safe space for girl talk. Yeah. Like you said, being around other people who are doing what you want to do, who are sharing the path to get there, I think is huge. Right. So we
Yeah.
don't gatekeep all these things. So we have to start over each time we want to do something new. It's like, no, let's just share. Let's share our process. Yeah.
Yes, and I think while we're here, that's one thing that you are really good at, Marissa. Like, from this
Oh,
channel where you're sharing all of these experiences, you're bringing all of these people on to share their experiences, what they've learned. Like, you are empowering women with every video, and even down to your Free Black Women Entrepreneurs group. You share so freely, you share all of the resources, and you're one of those people you can clearly see you want everyone to win. And so thank you
oh,
for that. I
thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Yes. And Mimi is also in Free Black Women Entrepreneurs, which is my online community for Black women, current and aspiring digital entrepreneurs, where we share tips, resources, demos on online business tools. We have a monthly support group check in because we know entrepreneurship can be a lot sometimes. And yeah, just to have that supportive community where we can share what we're going through and be real and be open. I think that's huge. Yeah.
Yes.
And I will link that here too if you would like to join. But yeah, Tea Time Beauty, we all deserve a space to feel seen.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
Mm-hmm. That's
And I
real.
have found so many of them on the internet. What is going on here? I don't know. I'm grateful. Who said that the other day on somebody's live? I think on Coach Yolanda's live.
Hmm.
Was it you, Marissa? Did you say the
Oh, I
YouTube
think it was
algorithm had
me.
no idea? Girl, they had no idea what they were doing, but I'm glad
Yeah,
they did because here we are.
that was me. Yeah, that was on Big Up Yourself live stream. Uh-huh. I think that was a few days ago. Yeah, but it's true. The YouTube algorithm had no idea, right?
Yeah.
Invented by mostly white men, right? Inventing these things, had no idea that it would bring all of us into community like this, but it has. And that's a power. And I'm grateful for it too. Yeah. So yes. I do want to ask you any advice you'd like to give to other Black women who are considering a similar path of pursuing their travel dreams, of being child free and claiming it proudly. Just any advice that you'd like to give in that area.
Sure. Let me just say, I'm figuring this out as I go. So take this with a tiny grain of salt. But I
Me
will
too.
say my advice is just to go for it. For me, what pushes me is I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, I wish I had done this, or I wonder what would have happened if I had done this. So maybe just do it. And I mean, especially when you're younger, like I feel like there's absolutely nothing holding you back when you're younger, but even when you're older, it's your life. Like you are in control of it. If that's what you feel like you want to do it, give it a shot. And what's the worst case scenario? It doesn't work out and then you go back to what you've been doing. Okay, like clearly you can do that. So go for it is my advice. Don't let anybody
That's
try to
true.
talk you out of it. Stand firm in it because there's a reason you came to that conclusion. And if it needs to be reassessed and reevaluated and you need to take a new path, you can do that. So
I
yeah.
love that. I love that. Just go for it. And like you said, you have the power to pivot and change
Yeah.
directions at any time. And you can always go back to what you were doing. Even though there's a reason why you want to leave what you're doing, right? And that's real, you can always go back. It's always
Yeah.
there. And I think that's a lesson I've learned even coming back to the US, right? Having the fear that I wouldn't be able to come back. And I'm here and I'm like quickly reminded why I left. And it's giving me that urge again, like, okay, girl, time's running out. It's time to get out again. So yes, I
That
agree.
confirmation.
The confirmation. Yes. Yes. That's the perfect word. Yes. Agreed. Let's see. NR says, besides meetups, where are good places to find fellow child free by choice Black women? If you have anything to share.
Ooh, that's a good question. For I guess my go-to is to go on YouTube, Child Free by Choice,
Yes.
or go on Google, Child Free by Choice, and you'll see like there are Reddit threads for Child Free by Choice people. There are some people on YouTube, like one lady I don't know if you heard of Child Free Kimberly. She's
Mm-mm.
interesting. I love that she's child free. She can be a little controversial in her like I hate kids thing. So just fair warning.
Mm.
Some of us like we don't hate kids, we just don't want to have them. But
Right.
yeah, I would start with Google. I don't have a TikTok account, but I do know that there are a lot of child free by choice people who speak on there because I've seen the YouTube compilations of TikToks talking about certain topics. But
Mm.
yeah, my go-to is the internet at this point until it becomes a wider thing where everybody around you is more open to it.
I love that. I love
Oh
that. And
my
you can
gosh.
find so many, yeah, so many resources on the internet. And YouTube especially, right? YouTube is a thing that brought me to X Summit, traveling, all of these things, taking a sabbatical, leaving a toxic job, like literally has changed my life, video
Yeah.
by video. So yeah, YouTube is powerful. It is.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Tea Time Beauty says Sankofa. That word, yes.
I actually have
Going
no
back to
idea
get it.
what that is. I really don't. I feel so bad. What is it?
No, you're good. You're good. Going back to get it. So going back to the past to gain things again, and then bringing them forward to the future. Kind of like remembering your past to move forward in the future. Yeah.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Sankofa.
Let's see. I did want to ask during your year of slow travel coming up, any experiences or destinations you're looking forward to traveling to? I think I like to share.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm gonna sound cliche if I say the whole world, but there are so many places, too many to name, honestly. I just want to see it all. I mean, as far as experiences, I am very excited for some dance classes and cooking classes around the world. I want to try out like maybe even different types of martial arts, self-defense classes, and different cultural experiences too. Like, I think that would be amazing. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to misquote because it's important. But in India, there's this festival that they have, and I don't remember the term for it, but it's like a
Holy,
colors thing, and they throw what did you say?
holy, HOLI.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
might, yeah. And it's, I
Mhm.
just feel like being there in the moment for such a huge thing like that is, I don't know, I'm almost getting teary thinking about it. That's crazy. But anyway, yes, I want to see have the different experiences in different places and in things that are important in other cultures. Cause I feel like there's, and I don't know, maybe it's the empath in me. Like, I like to connect. I love to connect with other people. And yep,
Mhm.
probably.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing the pictures and the footage you take because that every time I look at that, I'm like, first, that's too many people for me. So I
It
have
is.
to live vicariously through you. Yes, yes, but that looks amazing. And just being able
Yeah.
to travel and kind of like freely, right, as events come up, as your awareness grows of things that are happening around the world, you're able to move towards
Yeah.
those and experience those. That's huge. That's freedom. That's
Right?
freedom.
And you reminded me, I need to get better at taking pictures. I'm horrible at it. I was literally thinking to myself, maybe if one day they come out with a necklace or something that you can wear and it has a little pendant where it like records everything. Because I just can't, I don't like having the camera up to record. It
Me
just,
neither. Me neither.
yeah.
Same
So I'm
way.
gonna do better. I have to do better because there are people who do want to see certain things. But if y'all know about some bracelets or jewelry that can record though, hit me up.
I was gonna say a GoPro. I know Rashida has
Well,
used
who's
that
gonna
when
walk
she's done.
around with that on my head?
She puts it like I think right here somewhere. She clips it.
Ooh,
She does her
yes,
like, walkthrough videos in Mexico City.
I
So
need
that could be
that.
an option.
That
Hands
could
free.
work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I love it. Yes. And Alicia says that sounds lovely, Mimi. Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. We're so happy for you and looking forward to your journey because it's going to be amazing. It
Thank
is.
you. I'm excited. I'm gonna share all of it. Like I said, I know it's not gonna be all roses, but the way I see it is, I mean, there's a solid chance it'll be better than this. So that's
That
what I'm
part,
banking on.
yeah, that part, yeah. And you can always come back, right?
Yeah.
If you feel called to. But there are so many options. And there's a reason why you're feeling called to leave the environment and space you're in. And it's important to go forward towards that calling because that calling is real. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Ah, pick up yourself. Hello. Celebrating the original you. Yes, winsome. I don't have any children, never wanted any. Wow. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Can
Yeah.
I just shout out Winsome? I don't know how that
Yes,
woman,
please.
I don't know how she's always so beautiful, so well styled, so like the way she interacts with people, her interview style, you can tell she like wants to know and she cares. Oh my gosh, Winsome, thank you for all that you do. Seriously.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Thank you. And I think even like highlighting the stories of trauma survivors in such an empathetic way, right? So that we're able to relate to
Yeah.
things other Black women have gone through. I think that's huge in healing. And it's actually
Right.
an ancestral healing practice. So, yes, thank you, Winsome, for everything you do. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, let me get back to my questions. Yeah. In what ways do you hope your journey will inspire and empower other Black women to prioritize their dreams and live authentically, whatever that looks like for them?
In what ways? I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing is I want to serve as another possibility model. It's funny because I remember one thing that I said in one of my YouTube videos in the beginning was, this is either going to be a success story or a cautionary tale. And I meant that because I feel like you can learn from my experience either way. The end goal is for it to be a success. Like you can see that this is something that you can do and give you that confidence. Like for me, while my target audience is women, right? Like women, no matter what age. I do hope that maybe it'll even get to some younger girls because I think that's when a lot of this stuff starts. Like I remember for me, all those insecurities and the self-doubts and feeling like I had to change myself or fit a certain mold started when I was a girl. And I think unfortunately with this generation, TikTok is showing the absolute wrong things to children at younger ages. And so I think maybe seeing something that encourages them to be more of themselves would be helpful. But then again, I think back to me back then, and I was like, I just wanted to fit in. So if I saw something like that, if that
Mhm.
wasn't what everybody was doing, I probably wasn't going to do it. So yes, ultimately, I wanted to show women and girls that their value is it just is. There's nothing else they need to add to it, and it's worth trying to find joy in their lives, no matter what that looks like for them, and whether that goes against the grain or not.
I love that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Alicia Winsome is
Yes,
amazing, and
she
so are you,
is.
girl. The healing that
Yes.
Alicia does. Oh my gosh, Lord have mercy. There
All the
are not enough
flowers.
words.
They're not. They're not.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. And yeah, I think that's so important because all of this starts in childhood, right? Being a
Mhm.
girl, being socialized, all the messages that you received, that you're not enough. And then coming into adulthood, having to unlearn all of these things that you've taken on for all this time. That's hard. So if
Yeah.
you can get to people at an earlier age, especially like in adolescence, right? Because
Yes.
adolescence was tough for me.
And we didn't even have the Instagram baddies back then. Like,
I cannot imagine. I think about that all the time. I cannot imagine having social media while going through adolescence, trying to figure myself out. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. So yeah, I look forward to seeing everything you create around that because it's so needed. It's so needed. And I think a lot of us are kind of like realizing that too, right? How can we contribute our knowledge being in our 30s, 20s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond? How can we contribute that knowledge to people who are coming up, to girls who are
yes.
coming up, so that they don't have to go through the same things that we went through? They already
Yeah.
have that knowledge and they're prepared when they enter these spaces and relationships. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So says
It's
only you guys. We gotta
it's
show you
true.
love. We gotta show you
Yes.
love. Seriously, yeah. She says, I so love what I do. I'm fascinated with our stories. Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Our stories are powerful. Yep. And
They
they
are.
offer so much healing when we're able to share them in safe spaces, right? Share our stories,
Mhm.
share our hearts. It's like we can learn from other people what they've gone through and
Yeah.
realize we're not alone in this life experience. We're all interconnected. Yeah.
That's true. And I think one thing that I've learned is you can learn something or take away something from anyone's story. Even if it's completely different from yours, if it's something you don't want to do, like there's a lesson in everything. So just the sharing is beautiful. I'm grateful for
It
it.
is. It is. Agreed. Agreed. Um, Well, Sunshine says possibility model. I like that.
Yes.
I like that
Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, because I ain't come up
too.
with that.
Yes. In her book, you said is Sisterhood Heals. Is that
Yes.
right?
Oh, it's wonderful. It teaches you how to be a good friend. And like obviously it's more than that. It teaches the power of Black women being in community with each other. But when I tell you she went in depth, she gave you, oh my gosh, y'all have to read it. She even at the end gave ways you can be a supportive sister to your girls in your circle, in your community at large. Like get the book. It's you're not
I
going to
love
regret it.
it.
I promise.
You know, I think that was actually the free book that I requested through Exodus Summit last year. It's just sitting in my inbox, the ebook. So I need to get to that. Yes. Thank you for
Yes,
reminding me
and
of that.
speaking of which, I actually read that book as a part of a book club called Black Women Booking It, which was created as a spinoff to last year's Exodus Summit. So if you are a book
Oh,
club girly, I'm gonna find the link to the Facebook group. So
okay. We need it.
Black women, that's yeah.
Black women booking it.
Yes, I'm gonna Google it real
I
quick. I
love
mean,
that
go to
name. That
Facebook.
ties into travel. And okay, whoever came up with that name. Yes. Wow. We need the link. We need the link. Yes. Sandra, hey. I made the live. Yes. Fabulous to see you here. Yes. Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Sandra.
Winsome says their value is that part. It just is. You're inherently valuable. You're inherently worthy. You don't have to pursue all these things that we're taught we have to be valuable to someone else. You can validate yourself. I think that's huge. And I wish I would have known that as a girl because my life would have been so different had I known that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just scrolling down. Thank y'all so much for your comments. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I just posted the link to the Facebook group.
Okay. Get it.
Also, to your point, Marissa, it's so funny because I've said the same thing. I feel like if I knew when I was a girl that my value just is, things would be so different. But I feel like everything is designed to make sure that you don't. So it's like the messaging that we receive. I don't know if, I don't know. Maybe one day girls can know that early on, but it seems like everything is working against that in your day-to-day life, and especially when it comes to like interacting with other kids. Middle school was crazy.
Yes.
So yeah,
Me,
I just
middle school was the worst 3 years. Let me knock on wood of my life. It was
agree.
horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Just in that transition between childhood and being a teenager, and no one prepared me for like how awkward it was. In
Yes.
so many different ways. Just trying to find yourself, find your friend group, find who you are, stand up for yourself. You're kind of developing your voice at that time too. Puberty. So many things were happening during that time period. Yeah, middle school was very, very rough for me. Yeah.
Yes, agree.
Yeah. I hated, yeah. How many of us hated middle school?
Right? It was wild. Mm.
It was. Yes. Them years is rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. For
But we
real.
made it, y'all. We made it
We
through.
made it.
Look
Take
at
a
us
minute to
now.
celebrate those years. I didn't think I was going to make it through. I didn't
For
make
real.
it through. Oh my gosh. Yes, celebrating ourselves for making it through. Yeah, Sandra says, but we're on it now. The healing, the loving, the sharing, this just makes me smile so big. I love that. It's true. We're on it now. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah.
No. And the sooner that we can reach future generations coming up, I think that's huge.
Yes.
Being able to share on YouTube, right? So people can find our videos, resources. That's really creating like an archive of knowledge that hopefully future generations and generations coming up can take advantage of. So
Isn't that crazy to think about? Like,
yeah, we're
whoa.
making history. We're making
Yes.
history right now. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Maya Spike says, true. Unrealistic beauty standards was less in your face for us. So we did have video vixens and supermodels. So I think we can help our younger sisters know they're inherently valuable.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's not even to talk about the good hair and the red bone and the light skin. Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
that's real. That's so real. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. We can help our younger sisters know that they're inherently valuable. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of our responsibility too. As people who have been through the
Yes.
fire and we know how horrible it was. Like every time I see a young girl who looks like she's in elementary or middle school, she's gonna get a compliment on something. You better believe it, because I know it's tough. So and they just brighten right up. The smiles are so big. So
Yeah.
yes.
Because they're going through so much, right? At the
Yep.
time. And I think this society as well kind of downplays children's experiences and emotions.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they know what they're talking about. They know what's
Yeah.
going on. They know that things are not right. Because that's also the age you start realizing, hold on, this doesn't feel right. And when you try to voice that often, it's like met with such pushback because children
Yes.
aren't supposed to have a voice often. That's a lesson we're taught in the society. So yeah.
Yes. And I think even with good intentions, like me, when I was going through it in middle school and I would go home and tell my mom, she'd be like, girl, that don't matter. And it's like, yes, you're right. In the grand scheme of things, it don't matter. Or she'd be like, they're just jealous or whatever. Cool. Maybe they were. But as a child, I think sometimes they just need to hear, that's so understandable. It makes sense. I
Mhm.
understand why you feel that way. And then go ahead and hit them with but eventually this is, not going to matter. But that validation, I think children are missing. I really do
That's
think they could
huge.
use more
Yeah,
of that for their feelings. Yeah.
that is huge. Yeah. Just telling them. right? What you're experiencing is real. Because so often we will gaslight children and be like, you're making it up, you're making it too big of a deal. No, what you're experiencing is real. And you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have to go through that. Um, yeah, that validation is key. It really
Yeah.
is. Um, yeah, look at us now. Look at us now. Like sharing our stories boldly on YouTube, right? A public social media platform, which is not always the kindest, um, to say that mildly, for Black women, but being able to share, right? In the aim of, like you said, it's a responsibility to share this with generations coming up so that they at least have access to the education and knowledge that we didn't have. So they don't have to start over from scratch. That's kind of like, what's the point of us going through this if they have to go through the same things? Yeah.
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 Sandra says it was high school for me, never feeling quite in step. It was rough for real, but now we can relate to others to help them by being sensitive. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Yeah. Never feeling quite in step. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Relate.
That's real.
Can relate. Yeah. It's rough. Yeah. Thank you. Deshaun Burns, hello.
Hey.
Welcome. Welcome. Yes. Educator says, I love teaching middle school to help the students find out who they were. And thank you. I'm sure you
Yes.
are a phenomenal teacher. And yes, yes, so grateful for you for everything that you share. And thank you. Thank you for helping them because that time is, ooh, it's hard. It's so rough.
Yeah.
So rough. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Natural LID says, yes, pouring love and encouragement into younger generations is important. You never know how that may impact their life. That's true. Yeah,
Yep.
true. Because I remember attending, I think it was called like a Young Women's Empowerment Conference when I was in
Oh,
sixth or seventh grade. And that was huge. Being able to attend that, sessions of other Black women sharing, again, stories, knowledge, information. So I didn't feel so alone. And
yeah.
that was huge in my development and evolution at that age. So yeah, stories are powerful. They are.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Mara, yes. I remember you sharing that. Yep. That's why I always wanted to start a camp for young girls at that age because I remember how it was self-esteem, body
Mm.
issues, the male gaze.
Yes.
Mara, yes.
That's gonna
Yes.
be a game changer, Nara. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Yeah. We look forward to it. I remember you sharing that. I was so excited because I'm like, I needed that. I needed that at that age. And just you having the idea, right, is confirmation. It's confirmation. So thank you. And we look forward to seeing it and supporting you when you launch it. Yes. Yes. Let's see.
Speaking of Mara's
Yeah.
channel, girl, the conversation she be having over there, y'all need to get into it. Honestly,
Yeah.
because she addresses real issues and get over there. Get over there.
Please, please. I'm going to link her channel in the chat.
Yes, Sandra. How wonderful that we all found each other. Oh my gosh.
It's true. It's true. In this vast world, we all manage to like be magnetized toward each other. That's like, I feel like that's spiritual. Like there's
Yeah.
something much deeper at play here. That so many of us have the same ideas, knowledge, understanding about the world that we live in, and we're able to share it with each other on our path of growth and
Yeah.
freedom. Right. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Y'all please subscribe to Mara's channel. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's it.
Yes, it is. It is. Let
Mm-hmm.
me stop.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter tell the whole truth. The whole truth.
And
The
nothing but
whole
the
truth.
truth. Yes.
It's so
Mm-hmm.
important. It's so important. Yep. You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. She and Steph now all
I know that's right. Sandra, I know you heard that.
I love it. Yes. And Sandra says it gives me chills, but I'm so honored That this is the tribe God assigned me to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's deep. It's really deep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the people like you, Marissa, like Sandra, like Alicia, if y'all realize that you're changing lives when you're doing it, because I wonder if maybe it's like when I post a video and I'm just like, I'm just talking into the camera, whatever, right? Like for y'all, do you realize that? Like when you share these videos that it changes lives when you like in the community, Sandra, that community where you're showing women to take control of their finances, Alicia,
Yeah.
with your art and the conversations that you have, do y'all feel that? Like, do you feel that you are changing lives, or is it just like, okay, here's another video that I'm putting out on the internet? I'm very curious.
That's a good question. I don't always. I don't. I'm kind of like trying to get out of the mind frame of just being like on to the next thing. Because I'll feel the
Hmm.
download, right? Spiritual download to create something. But I don't really sit with the impact that it has. And that's something I'm trying to
Yeah.
get to. Because yeah, it's like trying not to self promote. I think that ties into like shrinking, which I'm trying
Yeah.
to unlearn too. And realizing that what I share does have an impact, and like
Yes.
standing
It
tall
does.
in that. It's kind of difficult sometimes, but you sharing that with me and everyone else sharing with me, like the impact that it has, just me sharing authentically what I'm going through, that helps me get into that and stay in that. And yeah, deeply grateful at
Yes,
all
we are
times.
too, girl. You are helping us out.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And Alicia says, coming up. Yeah. Oh, Mimi, that's so sweet. I don't always feel that. I'm learning how to take compliments and really marinate in it. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. It's uplifting. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It's
Yeah.
what you do is uplifting. And for me, I think that's why it's so important to call out all these people who are making an impact for me because it's real. And I don't know if y'all give yourself your own flowers because I know it's kind of a weird thing to do, apparently, but I want to give them to you. So thank you.
Yes. Much appreciated. Yeah. And that's like a question, like, why is it so weird to do? Why does it feel so like icky to stand in the impact that you have? Why does that feel so strange? That's probably like a journaling prompt. But it's real. It's
Yeah.
real. Yeah. Yeah. But thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Sandra says, I know it when I see it in others. I'm the same way. I can say it to other people so quickly, right? But I'm a
Yeah.
little slow to recognize it in myself. Yep, out of growth of childhood, I can still hear my mom saying, don't get too big for your britches. Yep, being taught to
That.
shrink, right? Not take up
Yeah.
space, be humble. It's a lot of social conditioning to unlearn to get to the point where you're able to say, like, no, I know what I'm saying. I'm effective in my delivery and like I'm impacting lives. Like that's something to get to and to sit with. Yeah, it
Yes.
is. When you've been taught to, you're not able to do that your whole life. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Yes. Winsome says finding each other is miraculous. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Yeah. 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 You better believe it. You ladies are true healers.
They
Mm.
are. Yes. I love those
Oh,
shades. I thought about it when I first saw that picture, and yes,
me
I still love them.
too. Every time I see your picture, Deshaun, I'm like, yes. For real. For real. Yes. Hey, yellow XOXO.
Hey,
Hello. Good to see you.
that's a cute picture too. Oh wow,
Yeah, it
that's my reader.
is. I love it. Tea Time
Oh
Beauty.
my
Mimi is a
gosh,
real life angel
no.
in the flesh.
Yeah. Okay, listen. I'm not trying to cry on nobody's live stream, so we are not doing that, Danny. Danny, listen, Danny, y'all. Oh my gosh, we were talking earlier on Discord, and I was like, yeah, I have that live with Marissa tonight, and I hope I don't like have a coughing fit on camera because I'm getting over a cold. And she was like, girl, the people need to hear the message, so they will receive it
It's
if
true.
and when it, however it comes, coughing and all. And I was like, that. Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much.
Hmm. It's so true. Yeah, absolutely. And Tea Time Beauty as well, y'all. Please subscribe to her channel as well. doing
Yes.
amazing work. And actually, we have a panel discussion. Wow, coming up
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
right?
Yes.
Hey.
Black women social workers building their own businesses on International Women's Day. That will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. On my channel will also be broadcast on Natural Ally D's channel, since we are co-hosting the panel with some amazing Black women social workers. And Danny will be on there too. But
Woo.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
something about Danny's presence. It's crazy calming
Woo.
and soothing. And so her
Yeah.
channel content is perfect, talking about coping skills and doing like practices with you. Like to oh my gosh, Danny,
Yeah.
thank you. When I found out that she was a social worker, I was like, this makes so much sense. This makes so much sense. And working with
Yes.
kids. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed. Giving you all the flowers, Danny. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Scrolling down here. Oh, thank you. The educator. Thank you. I ditched my family in town from North Carolina. Oh,
That is sweet. She said we got
not to
important business.
Oh, that warms my heart. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And thank you for all the support that you've shown since I've launched my channel. Really. I never take any of it for granted. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, Alicia says same. I tend to be really self-critical, and we're taught to be humble. We be unlearning this. Thank you for this invitation to give ourselves flowers. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, self-criticism. Ooh, that is so real. That is so real.
Yes.
Critiquing everything that you do so harshly was the norm for me, and I know it's for a lot of other people. It's like you can be your own worst critic on everything that you do. If you say something wrong, if you make a mistake, if you don't cite a resource correctly, it's like, yeah, but your audience, your people don't care about any of those things, right? When you truly find your people, like you said, if you were to have a coughing fit, we'd just be sitting here waiting for you to to pick back up. It's like you don't have to be perfect, right? No one's expecting you to be perfect in this audience. But a lot of us come from environments where that is the expectation to be perfect, but it's unreachable. It's unreachable. So yeah, the more that we can be in communities that are like safe, it's okay to be human. It's
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the message is the message and we'll still receive it. Yeah,
That's so true.
absolutely. I do want to ask you as we're wrapping up, how people can continue to follow your journey online. And also if you have any offerings that you'd like to share besides your Facebook group, or anything that you're planning in the future. I know you talked about group travel trips as a dream, but anything else you'd like to share around offerings?
So the only place I am right now is here on YouTube. Oh gosh.
See,
We
take
were
your
just
time.
talking about this. Okay. The only place I'm here, I mean, I'm available on social media is on YouTube. I have a baby Instagram account, but I don't promote it because it's just to keep up with the stuff my friends send me and learn Spanish. But anyway, the Facebook group is I think I want that to be the main thing of like where we really, really connect. Because like I said, there's a layer of depth that a lot of us aren't comfortable revealing on the internet. And then for offerings, I don't have any offerings right now. I'm still like in the beginning stages of seeing the idea of like small group trips. Like I'm telling you, 10 people would be a lot, but
Mhm.
wouldn't that be crazy? Y'all, it's gonna
It
come. I'm gonna try
it
it
would
at
be
least once.
amazing. It really
Yes.
would.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take my own advice and try it at least once and see what happens. So yeah, if you wanna keep up, come over to the Facebook group or YouTube.
Hey, I love it. I love it. And that's the thing, like when we see other Black women doing things, it's like we're sharing resources as we're doing it as well, so that we don't have to start from scratch. I think that's
Yeah.
huge. And seeing other Black women plan like group trips around the world, that's amazing. Because so many of us, it's like the fear of travel, of leaving the borders of the U.S. keeps us stuck. But if we can go with people that we know that we're safe with, um, that eliminates a lot of that fear to be able to get over that initial hurdle of
Yep,
travel. Yeah, I
that's
love it.
so
I'm
true.
excited. I'm excited. Let me link your Facebook group again in the chat.
Yes, Danny, I love us. Aren't we amazing? This is
We
crazy.
are. We
This is
are.
crazy. To go from like being a loner as a kid to like
Me too. Okay, well, we all loners, y'all. I feel like we all have like a similar backstory. It's like heroes coming together with like similar origin stories. But yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
yes.
Winsome says it's true. The impact we have. Yep.
Yep.
The impact we have. Yeah. Absolutely. You're welcome, Danny. You're welcome. Yes. Yes. Thank you for everything that you do. Yes.
Osio. I love whenever you say that.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Alicia says, yes, Danny exudes so much peace and calm and ease, love.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it's true.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, y'all. Sandra says, Marissa, you just described the pressure of perfection. Yes. Uh-huh. I'm a recovering perfectionist. That thing will take you out. It will.
Every
It really
time.
will. Yeah, because it's unreachable. And we're told that we have to be perfect and other people can be average and mediocre. Like, no, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yola XOXO says, I'm very bad at that. It keeps me stuck sometimes. Yeah. Me too. Working on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Work in progress. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like a lot of our hesitation and doubts when it comes to doing the things we want to do probably goes back to perfectionism. Like,
Yeah.
if I think about why wouldn't I travel? Because, like, I wouldn't want to get it wrong. I wouldn't want to mess it up. You know, I wouldn't want to fail at it. And that's really just perfectionism showing up again
It is.
in another form. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you are right, Sandra. It will take you out.
Yeah. That's true. We have so many people saying they would love a group trip. So you already have your target audience right here. We're ready and willing to support whenever you're ready to launch. So yes. Yes. NR says totally want to do that group travel, Mimi.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Y'all, that's
Danny,
crazy.
I'm here for the group trips.
Oh my gosh.
Lola Sunshine, that's right. Come together, maybe we're gonna support it too.
Y'all.
Yes.
Okay,
Mara,
I'm not.
group trip, get me out of this house.
Get me out of this house. That's a mood right there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So we are already here to support you. Yes. Deshaun, passport in hand. Okay, where are we going,
So
Mimi?
so what I'm hearing is we're gonna have to do a meetup because that's gonna
Yeah.
be more than 10 people, and your girl is logistically challenged, so I can't handle more than 10. But if you show up, we're gonna be together, okay, y'all?
Yes. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Oh, yay. Oh, Winsome. Healing trip to Jamaica coming October. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. That's going to be amazing. Yay.
yes,
Oh my
I
gosh.
love that.
I love it. I love it. Educator group trip. We're ready. We're ready. Yes.
Yes,
Mara said, get me out.
for real.
Yes. All right, y'all. Yes. As we are wrapping up, there was another comment I had highlighted. Let me see here. Sandra, yeah, I've got to go back and watch this from the beginning. This was so good, like a warm hug, and I needed it. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yes, that is always my goal to make it warm, friendly, inviting, non perfectionist, human. So, yeah, that makes
This
me
is so awesome.
happy.
I told you I got nervous when I saw your message, but I don't know. I don't know why I expected anything other than just relaxed energy. I done told the internet my business and everything. This is what Marissa does for y'all. So just be warned, okay?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This was amazing, though. Thank you so much, Mimi, for being an amazing guest, sharing everything that you've shared. Um, I have all your links in the description. But yeah, y'all, thank you for everything you put in the chat too.
Thanks, y'all.
Inar says, let's go, girl. I will help you plan the first one if you're down.
Don't
Okay.
play with me. Get in my Facebook group because I will take you up on that planning. You think I'm joking?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my
Meet up.
gosh.
Meet up, meet up.
I'm so
I love
excited.
it. I love it. Tonight was so good, Alicia. Yes, thank you so much, Mimi. Thank you, Marissa. You're welcome. You're welcome. And
Thank you.
yes,
You're welcome. Wow.
this was amazing. And yeah, just the information you shared, it's life changing. It really is life changing. So thank you for your openness, willingness to share, because it's not always an easy subject, right? There's a lot of judgment that comes with proudly claiming being child free. So I appreciate your transparency tonight. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. But yeah, until next time, which is tomorrow, actually at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, a panel discussion: Black women social workers starting their own businesses, on my channel, and also a Natural Ally Deeds channel. But yes, y'all.
Yes.
Until then,
I will
hope
be
you
in
have.
the live chat.
Oh yay! Thank you, thank you. Yes. Until then, y'all. Hope you have a good night. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Yeah, Danny says until tomorrow, ladies. Yes. Bye, y'all.
Woohoo!
Bye.